The road to the 2020 Kentucky Derby continues. Let's take a look back at the Smarty Jones Stakes. Ran on opening day at Oaklawn Park. They had a little bit of wet weather, so the track was officially labeled muddy. And there was definitely a little bit of open water on the track as they loaded into the gate. So definitely a sloppy, muddy type feeling for the Smarty Jones Stakes. Maybe something to keep in mind down the road, as the last few years we have had some off-track conditions at the Kentucky Derby and a few other of the major preps. The betting on the board was pretty solid. Three Techniques was favored most of the way. A lot of late money on Silver Prospector, a recent upset winner at Churchill Downs. So those two were the favorites, and then Lynn's Map also took a little bit of money. He was out of post position number 8. Three Techniques out of post position number 9 on the outside, and then on the inside was Silver Prospector. The leader right out of the gate, 24 for the opening quarter. That was Gold Street, trained by Steve Asmussen, and Gold Street had won the Sugar Bowl handicap at the fairgrounds in his most recent stakes race, and he picked up the early lead, led at the half mile, led at the three-quarter call, 49 for the half, 113 and 4, 6 furlongs, and Gold Street ended up going wire to wire in the Smarty Jones, giving trainer Steve Asmussen his first victory. And the race pretty much unfolded. It was Gold Street on an easy lead, really no pressure for that first half mile, soft fractions, 49. Lynn's Map was totally content to sit in second place. And then the third group of horses was Shoplifted on the inside and Three Technique on the three-wide trip on the outside. Approaching the turn, Lynn's Map gave away pretty quickly, which was surprising, and Three Technique made a brief move, but you pretty much knew halfway down the stretch that Gold Street was going to hang on to the victory here. He kicked clear, and Three Technique finished second. Shoplifter held on for third. Silver Prospector was pretty disappointing for those who backed him in the race. 2-to-1 odds. Really was 7, 8, 9 lengths back at the half-mile pole. Made a mid-race move and then flattened out and finished fourth. So kind of a disappointing effort for Silver Prospector. Again, Lynn's Map, no resistance. He was sitting second all by himself, ahead of Three Technique and Shoplifted. He was asked, he kind of gave a little bit of a response going into the turn a little bit, but then he quickly faded in, and Three Technique went by him pretty easily. So Lynn's Map would have to really improve a lot or have to come back and really show an excuse to possibly move on in some of these other stakes races. Meanwhile, I assume we'll see the winner, Street Boss. You know, he may have some distance limitations with that Street Boss breeding. Gold Street does. And I'm not sure how much further he wants to go, but we'll probably see him in one of the next couple of legs at Oaklawn Park, or maybe he'll ship out for Turfway or something like that. Those Street Bosses do well on synthetic surfaces. He could maybe be one that goes to Turfway Park. So kind of an interesting possibility for the winner in Gold Street. Meanwhile, Three Technique, no excuse. Now, this was his first trip outside of New York, and he'll probably move on next to the Rebel Stakes or possibly the Arkansas Derby, but a little bit of a disappointing effort for Three Technique. So the winner, Gold Street, wire to wire in the Smarty Jones, Three Technique second, and Shoplifted third. He continues to run well in these stakes races, but not really improving at this point. I think the waters are going to get a little bit deeper in the Rebel. We have horses like Basin, first crop of Leone's Map, trained by Steve Asmussen, hopeful winner. He may be running in that race. Bob Baffert has hinted that Nadal, the big maiden winner at Santa Anita last week, 98 Beyer speed figure, he may also be pointing for the Rebel, and the Rebel also has a few other interesting nominations as horses that are pointing for the Rebel Stakes. What did you think of the Smarty Jones? Were you impressed with the winner, Gold Street? Did you think Three Technique ran okay to run second, or were you disappointed in Silver Prospector? Leave a note below. Smash that like button and hit subscribe. Remember, we're leading you all the way up to the 2020 Kentucky Derby.